Y'all, it is currently 9:31 and I am having a bowl of cereal for dinner, and I'm gonna tell you why. So, I have not the emotional, mental, or physical wherewithal to stand for today's video, so I'm gonna sit. Hope that's okay. Y'all, what is actually happening? Is this week 964 days long for anyone else, or is it just my family? We have had a time, specifically with vehicles. And if you have been around since last year, you know that we had a little bit of car trouble during our anniversary month, specifically on our anniversary last year. If you haven't seen that video, I will link it down below, but that was my stupidity, to be fair. Like, it wasn't the car's fault. But today we have had a whole new opportunity for learning. Take a bite first, hang on. So my husband, Cameron, you know Cameron, he works from home. He is a data analyst, computer-y kind of guy. He works from home, and he has a conference this week that he's been going to in another city. So he's having to wake up every morning and drive 75 miles, which is a whole new fun thing for him because he normally gets to sleep in until like after I've left in the morning. So I've enjoyed having a buddy get ready with me in the mornings, having someone besides the dog to talk to, but he's not loving the waking up early so much. But anyway, he was gonna take my car because my car is the newer one. And I say my car, they're both ours, obviously, but like the one that I primarily drive because I'm usually the only one who drives. We live like 5 miles from my work. So I was like, I'll take the older car, the one that we've replaced the battery, the starter, and we just had an oil change and like 5 or 6 recalls. Kia is dead to me, just saying. Anyway, driving his older car that we basically just have as like our second emergency car because we always go places together, except for in situations like this where we both need to be driving. So it usually is just a driveway ornament. But this week we needed to use both cars, and I was like, this one is like, it's old, it's like over 10 years old. She's got a lot of miles on her. Like, you take the newer one, Joan Jetta, my Volkswagen that we got in 2020. Highly recommend a contactless car buying experience, by the way. That was immaculate. We did everything via text and then just showed up and signed the papers. It was wonderful. That's the new-ish car. Like, it hasn't had any issues. It's only 4 years old. Take Joan. So he's like, okay, if you're sure, like that. And I'm like, yeah, I'll be driving for 15 minutes. You'll be driving for 3 hours every day. So priorities here. So he takes my car, I take his car. We're all good for the first few days this week. He was trying to leave a little bit before me this morning. I was running a little behind. And so he comes back, he's like, okay, I'm leaving, bye. You know, comes back in and he says, I need help. And I was like, oh God, with what? Your car won't start. I'm sorry, what? The one that we've been using to jump the other one for the past like 6 months until we finally figured out what was wrong with it. It was some weird connection thing. They had to do a recall. Anyway, the one that we've been using to jumpstart now won't start. Okay, cool. Let's pull the old jalopy out and use it to jumpstart my car. And it's got, you know, the computer stuff. I hate cars that are smarter than me, but they all are now. And it says like charge by driving. And we're like, oh, just left a light on or something. It'll once we jump it, it'll be fine. And I even said like, hey, do you want to take yours that we know is like, we've put it back together from, you know, parts at this point. We've bought all new parts and rebuilt this car. I'm like, do you want to take this one or you? And he's like, no, I'll take this one. It's fine. Like, once we get started, it's gonna be good. Spoiler alert, was not good. So he gets it started. He gets to his conference. I'm like, hey, did you get in okay? Yeah, we're fine. We both go about our days. Everything's good till it's time for him to come home this evening. And he just texts me, battery's dead. Cool. So it wasn't just a light or something. Awesome. So he did have some work friends, some colleagues that were around, and he was like, hey, like, can someone come jump me? I've got my jumper cables in the car ready to go. Like, can someone just like come help? And one of his friends is like, yeah, bro, I got you. Comes with him. Cameron had backed the car in, thankfully, so it was easy to get to the hood. And this friend comes up and he's like, oh, by the way, this isn't actually my car, it's a rental car, because he and his wife only have one car because normally he's working from home, they all do. So they don't really need 2 cars, except for on times like this. So he got a rental car so that he could commute back and forth to this conference. So he's like, I don't know how to connect this because it's a hybrid. So these two PhD candidates are standing in a parking garage with their like business attire on, staring at the hood of a car and reading an owner's manual. They're like, well, it says this is a battery, but this is just like a collection of fuses, and we don't know, there's no positive, there's no negative, like where's the red and the black? What are we doing here, guys? So they figure it out, they get his car started, he gets home. Wonderful. Let's take this battery out. It's obviously dead. It's the original factory battery from when we bought the car. So drive it over to ye old, what are we gonna call them? Gifted auto parts. We take it over there to the Gifted, and we walk up to the door. He's carrying this, it's literally like 60 pounds. He's carrying this battery up to the door. I go to open the door, okay, not that door, not that one either, okay. Of course they're closed, of course they are. What are their hours? They're open until 7. What time is it? 6:57. Cool. Luckily, the nice manager saw us and saw probably just the look of absolute depletion on both of us. We're starting to turn around, and she goes, come on in. And we're like, thank you so much. We will be so fast. We will be the quickest people ever. Go home, put the battery in. There's like 9 or 10 error messages now that we've put the battery in. And like, we're not mechanics, but like we've put batteries in cars before. It's not that hard. So we're like, oh my God, what is wrong? And so now I'm flipping through the owner's manual again for my car. And I'm like, I think if we just like drive it around the block, it'll be okay. So we drive it around the block nice and slow, and the errors start like ticking off. It just needed to, reset itself, and it just had its panties in a bunch or something. I don't know. So that clears up, and we're pulling into the garage, and we're like, okay, we have solved these problems. It's 7:30. Let's go inside and warm up some dinner. And as we're pulling in, I look over and I say, why are your brake lights on your car? Now that we've settled Joan, let's go back over here to Optimus. He turns off all the lights. He presses the brake, nothing changes. Turns the car off and on a couple times. The brake lights will not go off. So we went to our good friend Google, found out that this is a thing that happens. And it happened between 7 o'clock when we were at the Gifted Auto Parts store and 7:30 when we got the battery reinstalled back at the house. At some point between those two places, this little rubber stopper that lives under the brake pedal failed, which means the brake lights are now on permanently. It's a stopper that tells the sensor when you put your foot on the brake or take it off. So when there's contact, it's like, oh, the brakes are not on, we should have the light off. When there is no contact, they think the brake is on. We could just leave this because it doesn't affect the operation of the vehicle. However, our brake lights are gonna be on all night. And we don't want people coming up to our door and being like, hey, knock, your car's on in your driveway. And also, if the lights are on, is that gonna drain the battery? And I'm gonna have a dead car in the morning again. Because I simply cannot. After Googling how to fix this thing, we now know that we cannot go back to the Gifted Auto Parts store because they closed at 7. Remember, now it is nigh on 8 o'clock. So we do a little bit more Googling. God bless Google. We find out what this little piece is, and we find out that the car area auto parts store, they have this piece. But we want to make sure that it's in stock before we drive over there. Cameron calls them and says, hey, do you have this piece for Kia? And they're like, not a Kia, but we have a universal one. Should work for you. Excellent. We will be right there. Drive over there, find the piece, take it home. Wouldn't you know it, the universal piece is not universal. Sure is not. So all of this to say, we fixed that ish with duct tape. Sure did. We're gonna order the real piece because it's like an $8 job on Amazon, and not that I want to give Jeffrey more money, but here, I'll give Jeffrey this $8 because I can't take any more. And I do understand that we are abundantly blessed that we can take care of these issues. These are minor things, but boy howdy has it been a day. So that is how we've gotten to now 9:44 at night, and I'm eating a bowl of sake granola for dinner because this is all I could manage. And I wanted to tell you this while it's still like fresh on my spirit. and I look really good. You can tell we've been like hanging out in the floorboard of this car for the past hour. So we have 2 cars that start. We have brake lights that only come on when the brake is being used. And I have soggy cereal. So that is it. I just wanted to share that because I thought it was hilarious that we had, you know, more car catastrophes happen around our anniversary again this year. It's just, this is just the way of the world, apparently. August is the month of car issues. So let me know. Have you also been experiencing a car problem, or have you just had like the most chaotic, hectic week in the history of existence? Because I've heard from a few people that this week has just not been it. If you have something good that's happened to you this week, tell me that too, because y'all, we need some positivity up in here. So let me know that, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, y'all. Oh, no, you can't have Mama's cereal. No, this is Mama's cereal. No, you already had your dinner. This is Mama's dinner. I know it's a sad dinner, but it's a dinner. Yep. Let's go shower and go to bed. Let's do it.